Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind words of introduction, sir. Distinguished gathering, today I'm going to talk about a very important topic. Rather, it's about international convention. As you know, UNCLOS is regarded as the mother of all conventions. And in this presentation, I'm not going to talk about the entire convention. It's a very broad area, but my focus is basically on the right of hot pursuit, which is a very important aspect when we talk about law enforcement. Yet, there are certain shortcomings. In my research, I'm forwarding at the end certain recommendations as well. Outline of the presentation as flashed on the screen. The aim of my presentation is to explain the right of hot pursuit and its shortcomings. The international law dealing with hot pursuit is mentioned in Article 111 of the United Nations Conventions of the Laws of the Sea. However, the Laws of the Sea Convention has many gaps. When it comes to law enforcement, the right of hot pursuits, being an exceptional nature, should be exercised with extreme caution. In 21st century, maritime law enforcement requires surveillance of very large areas, which should require latest technologies. The traditional doctrine of hot pursuit, largely founded during the cannon shot rule era, contained procedural requirements that might hinder the use of new technologies. According to LOC, there should be good reason to believe that a foreign vessel has violated the domestic rules and regulation of the state. Furthermore, the right of hot pursuit is not limited to ships that have commenced offences. It recognizes attempted offences, but not recognized previous offences. The apprehension of MV Vyasa by Australian law enforcement is an example to support how flag state challenged good reason and lost the case at international tribunals of laws of the sea. On the other hand, the MV Saiga case illustrates how the flag state challenged a good reason and won the case. Hot pursuit commence when an alien vessel commits an offense while physically or constructively present in the waters of enforcing state jurisdiction. The law enforcement vessel must first order offending vessel to stop in order to indicate that it has been detected, identified, and ready for boarding. The LOC clearly states that the signal stop is to be visual or auditory. It should be given at a distance which enables the signal to be seen or heard from the foreign vessel. But the use of radio broadcast to signal to stop is not mentioned in the international law. Hot pursuit can only be undertaken by military vessels and aircraft. Therefore, all naval coast guard vessels and aircraft, including fisheries enforcement vessels and naval submarines, are authorized to engage in hot pursuit. When the hot pursuit is initiated, there are requirements to be fulfilled to maintain it under international law. Although the term interrupted not clearly defined in the LOC, the article says the pursuit be continued as far as it is uninterrupted. Apprehension of South Tommy in 2001 by Ocean Law Enforcement vessel Southern Supporter. With the support of South African Navy is a perfect example of continuous pursuit. The Ocean Law Enforcement authorities were involved until despite the change of government vessel. The entry of the pursued vessel into the territorial waters of its own or third state ends the pursuit. The restriction on the pursuit into another state's territorial sea is designed to protect violation of the coastal state's sovereignty. The law of the sea prohibits the resumption of hot pursuit if the pursued vessel returned to the high seas after entering into territorial sea of its own or third state. This provision had been used to escape arrest. For an example, Australian fisheries authorities have uncovered merchant vessel Lena received instruction to enter French waters during a pursuit, and similarly in South Tommy case, ship owners instructed the master to enter third state. Today, the rule has come under intense pressure as a result of extensive fishing fleets and enormous size area to be patrolled. This requires more flexible rules than traditional doctrine. The proposed reforms are as follows. Before commencing hot pursuit, an enforcement vessel must verify whether the offending ship is lawfully stationed within the maritime zone. The law requires enforcing vessel satisfies itself by available practicable means that the offending vessel is in the waters, but the LOC does not mention the exact method of fixing an offending vessel. The development of technology has resulted in number of methods for fixing the ship at sea. For example, using radars with plotting facility, aerial photography, and satellite technology are some of the common methods in use. The flexible language of LOC should allow any method as long as reliability and accuracy are maintained, provided that they stand judicial scrutiny. The debate over traditional visual auditory signals to stop in the doctrine of hot pursuit has become obsolete. Today, the marine communication has advanced in such a way that the vessel operators could always communicate by radio using satellites. For example, a foreign vessel fishing within the United States EEZ are required to maintain a continuous listening watch on a selected frequency. This means as long as the offending vessel could receive the stop order through reliable equipment, there is no logical reason for not conveying such an order through the commonly available frequency. The traditional method of maintaining continuous visual connection is also now obsolete. Latest technology has dramatically changed the situation. The enforcement vessel can continue hot pursuit using advanced tracking facilities during poor visibility, machine breakdowns, and momentary ceasing of hot pursuit to pick up evidence of the suspected ship.